بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا وحبيبنا وشفيعنا ونور قلوبنا وقرة أعيننا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم نوينا تعلم وتعليم وتذكر وتذكر والنفع والانتفاع والإفادة والاستفادة والحث على التمسك بكتاب الله وسنة رسوله صلى الله عليه وآله وصحبه وسلم ودعاء إلى الهدى ودلالة على الخير ابتغاء وجه الله ومرضاته وقربه وثوابه سبحانه وتعالى مع لطف وعافية برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم إنا نسألك العلم لدنيا مشرب صافي الهني يا وهاب يا غني. اللهم إنا نسألك العلم لدنيا مشرب صافي الهني يا وهاب يا غني. اللهم إنا نسألك العلم لدني ومشرب صافي الهني يا وهاب يا غني. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. Amin. Okay, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. We're continuing with our book on fasting. We're still on Ramadan, eh? Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. نعم. Right, so we're on a section Al-Iftar fi Ramadan Arba'atu Anwa'. We're there, right? Are we there? Yeah, we are there. يبطل الصوم. تمام. Okay. Al-Iftar fi Ramadan. Are we there? Correct. Right, because we finished last time round about the sukriyats, right? About what intoxicates and then nullifies the fast. So we're actually right at Iftar fi Ramadan, Arba Anwa. Right, there are four types of things that break the fast in Ramadan. There are four types of breaking of the fast. The first type is wajib. Wajib to break the fast for the woman who is experiencing haid or nifas. Wajib. She has no choice. Right, the moment she got her face or her haid or her nifas, automatically her fast is already nullified. Whether she likes it or not, her fast is already nullified. Okay. If she insists that she is still fasting and she refuses to break her fast, then she is sinful in that she is doing an act of worship that she cannot do, and also sinful in that she might not make up that fast because she counts it as a fast, right? And she's sinful lah, both ways. Okay, number two, mubah, permissible for the one who is traveling and the one who is not well. It's permissible. It's up to them. If they want to break the fast, they may break the fast. If they don't want to break the fast, up to them. It's just up to them. It's just up to them. Okay. Why up to them? Right? Because they have to make up the fast anyway later on. Right? So if they can bear their travel, or they can bear their illness while fasting, then go ahead. Right? If they can bear with it. It is just that the religion gives them a leeway. Like if they cannot bear with travel, or they can't bear with the illness, then if they want to break, they can break lah. Like is a leniency, a mercy from the religion, right? So, but they don't actually have to. They don't actually have to. Okay, that which is neither wajib nor impermissible, which is insanity, which basically there is no fasting for this person because they have lost their mind. So therefore, they're not mukallaf. Then they have no longer the status of mukallaf. They are not legally responsible. And a haram to break the fast for the one who delays the making up of Ramadan despite having the ability to do so until the time does not permit for it. Like haram for this person. So if someone has 10 more days of makeup fast to make from the previous Ramadan, and you're on the 20th of Sha'aban, you only have exactly 10 more days till Ramadan, exactly 10 more days, you cannot break your fast. No, you cannot break the fast for the next 10 days unless you're on your menses lah. Then you are sinful for actually delaying your Ramadan makeup fast. Number 15, someone is obliged to make up some fast days of Ramadan. It's recommended to do so consecutively and immediately. Right? It is highly recommended and emphasized to do your makeup fast immediately after Ramadan. Of course, not on the first day of Eid, but from second day onwards. Right, second day onwards of Eid, right, to actually do your makeup fasts. Which is why in many parts of the Muslim world, the major Eid is in Eid al-Adha, not Eid al-Fitr. It's only in Nusantara, right, Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, whereby the major Eid is Shawwal. Right? But by right, the major Eid is Zulhijjah. Why? Because Shawwal is sunnah to fast. It's sunnah to actually fast 6 days Shawwal. It's sunnah to actually, it's highly recommended to actually make up your Ramadan fast that you missed in Shawwal. Right? Whereas in Eid al-Adha, you actually have a days of tashriq, whereby it is haram to fast. You can't fast the day of Eid, and you can't fast the 3 days that follow Eid, the 3 days of tashriq. Right? Tashriq. Right? So, those are the days of feasting and eating. Right? But for some reason, this part of the world, we're the opposite. Right? And it's hard to change. The rest of the world celebrates Eid al-Adha greater and bigger than Eid al-Fitr. Eid al-Fitr is very small, right? Because it's just like one day, go masjid, and then pray Salat Eid, and then have lunch at your grandmother's house or whatsoever, and come back dah. It's one day. But we all like party for one whole month. Right? For some reason, it's a culture, like this. It's a culture. It's a culture of our part of the world. Nowhere else in the world has this, eh? Nowhere else in the world does this. We're the only ones. I wonder where it came from, eh? I wonder like how it came about, eh? That suddenly all the Malays decided that we're gonna party for Shawwal. And then everyone agreed. I was like, okay, let's do that. Let's party for Shawwal. And then like there's nothing in the religion that speaks about it. Of course, you won't say it's impermissible, is it? It is permissible. You can do it lah, all you want, up to you. It's good to go and see your relatives and all that. It's good. It's a good thing to do, right? But there is no like hukum or whatsoever about it. But the sad thing is that if it prevents people from doing their fasting, especially the 6 days of Shawwal, right? Because they're so busy going from house to house, in their party in Shawwal, eh? La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, right? Whereas it actually makes way more sense to do it in Zulhijjah. It does make a lot more sense, right? Because there's no fasting to do, right? In Zulhijjah, it makes so much more sense. The fasting happened before Eid, but for some reason, for some reason, like we're the only ones in the entire world who party for Shawwal. Okay. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. You would say that this our celebrating of Shawwal, it is a bid'ah, but it's a permissible bid'ah. It's permissible, right? It's not against the religion, right? You can do, unless people mix and they dress up in non-Sharia ways and whatsoever, then there is something else. There is not the visitations. The visitations itself is permissible and in fact recommended. All right. Okay, naam. Okay, so the types of breaking the fast are four, right? So basically, when it is wajib, permissible, nothing, no ruling to it, and then when it is haram, right? When you have to make up the fast. Okay, the next one, the types of breaking the fast are four. Things that make qada and fidya wajib are two. So the types of breaking the fast. So iftar fi Ramadan arba anwa, that was one that we took previously. Then the next one is wa aqsam al iftar. Aqsam means the groupings, right? The groupings of the different types of breaking of the fast are four, meaning that this, okay, the first type of grouping is about whether the fast is breaking the fast is wajib, sunnah, permissible, no ruling. No, so whether breaking the fast is wajib, permissible, no ruling, and haram. This is the first one, right? This one is grouped according to what is the penalty of breaking the fast. And so what is on the person for breaking the fast? There are four things. There are four types. So the first one is person must do qada and fidya. Right? Qada meaning they have to fast another day to replace that day, and fidya, they have to pay a fine. Second type, of you see the consequences, like the four different types of consequences of breaking the Ramadan fast, right? So four different types of consequences in breaking the Ramadan fast. The first consequence has qada and fidya together. The second consequence is qada without fidya. The third consequence is fidya without qada. And the fourth consequence is no qada and no fidya. Okay? Alright, so there are four. So the first one is qada and fidya. So qada and fidya is the one who breaks the fast due to the fear of harm on others. Right? So because they broke their fast, there is a qada. Right? But because they broke their fast not for themselves or somebody else, then there is a fidya. Right? So for example, a woman who is pregnant. So if this woman is pregnant, she breaks her fast because she's fearful for the baby. She thinks the baby might die. Or doctor says to her, you're very low on blood sugar and you need to eat something. Otherwise, your baby will miscarry. Right? So the doctor tells her that you need to eat. Otherwise, your baby will miscarry. And your body is in a high risk pregnancy, for example. So she is okay. She as a woman is okay. Right? She can live, she can function, she's fine. The baby is affected by her fasting, but not her. She's not affected by her fasting, her baby is affected. Right? So she breaks her fast, eats something for the sake of the baby, not for her sake. For the sake of the baby. Right? This means that she has to qada that day and she must pay fidya. Right? She must be fidya because the breaking of her fast is not for her, it's for her baby. However, if she's feeling lightheaded, giddy, she's being affected by the fast. Okay? And even if the baby also is being affected, but she's also affected. So if she's affected by the fast and she cannot take the fast any longer, or she's vomiting a lot and she's getting very weak, being pregnant, so she breaks her fast, but she's breaking her fast for herself. So if she breaks her fast for herself, only qada. There is no fidya. Okay, there is no fidya. Right? So another example is like someone sees someone drowning, for example. Right? So someone's drowning. So you jump into the ocean, you jump into the pool to save the person who is drowning. In doing so, when you jump in, right, you swallow some water. Okay, you swallow some water, right? So therefore your fast is nullified, right? Because you swallowed some water. But and that you nullifying your fast was because you're trying to save someone else. Right? So you have to make up that day of fast because you swallowed water, and you must pay fidya for that day of fast because you was the reason why you broke your fast is because of somebody else and not because of you. Okay, that's very clear. All right, breaking the fast and thereafter delaying to make up for it until the next Ramadan comes. Oh, right. So this one situation. Okay, someone, for example, last Ramadan. Okay, so last Ramadan, maybe a woman she owes 10 days, right, due to menses. She owes 10 days of fasting. After Ramadan, she was busy traveling here, traveling there, work, whatever. Before she knew it, the following Ramadan came and she had not made up. She didn't make up her fasts. She had 10 days to do. She had no excuse. No excuse, eh? She had no excuse, 10 days to do. Didn't make up her fast. So next Ramadan comes along. So every single day that she didn't make up, that when she could have made it up, she must pay fidya. And she must be fidya, and she needs to do the fast. Right? She's not like off, eh? No, we don't say to her, oh, you pay fidya, okay, da. Do have to fast ready. No, must fast. The fast is still there. Alright? Okay, if she holds this fast and one more year goes by and she does not make up the fast for whatever reason, and she was able to make up the fast, and another Ramadan comes in, then now the fidya on every single day that she did not make up the fast is double. I mean, the fine is increased because really 2 years have gone by and you have not made up your fast. So like a punishment lah, like a punishment. 2 good years have gone by and you can't make up 10 days of fasting. So each day of missed fast, double the fidya, double, right? Because punishment, like a punishment lah. Right? So lazy to fast. This is for someone who has no good reason. For those who do have a good reason, like for example, someone who's pregnant, breastfeeding, like fasting just really hard for this person. Whenever they are pregnant or they are breastfeeding, it's really very hard for this person. Then year after year, so for example, she's pregnant in Ramadan, couldn't fast at all. Like very high risk pregnancy, vomiting all the time, needs to eat this, needs to eat, needs to eat through the day and whatsoever. This is a lot of problems. So the whole Ramadan did not fast. 30 days didn't fast. And then after Ramadan, give birth. Right? Give birth and then breastfeeding, nifas. Okay, nifas cannot fast anyway, right? Nifas, right? And after nifas, breastfeeding, very weak, problematic. Maybe went through a surgery, cesarean surgery, whatever. Problems lah, problem. And so like months went by and she could not even fast a day. She could not fast a day. Months went by and she could not fast a day. She struggled and struggled, tried to fast, couldn't fast, tried to fast, couldn't fast. Every day begin trying fasting, couldn't fast. She has 30 days she owes. The whole year goes by and she could not do a day. She could not even do even one day of fasting. Alright? The next Ramadan comes in. And she has not made up even a single day of a fast. Right? For this person, it is said, some scholars say that if really because of illness they cannot do the fast, then the fidya is waived from them. There's no punishment in a sense lah. There's no fidya on them. There are scholars who say that no, there is still fidya, and there are those who say no, right? Because they were unable to make up the fast, right? But they still have to make it up eventually. They have to make it up eventually when they get better. Okay. There is 17 and 18. Then let me just go to the footnotes at the bottom here. Okay, so fidya is one must pay 509 grams of food to the poor for each fast they missed, in addition to making it up. The woman who is breastfeeding a baby or is pregnant and apprehends harm to herself or her child may omit the fast and pick it up later. If she omits due to fear of harm for the child alone and not for herself, she must give fidya. Right? However, for each day she has missed as an expiation in addition to making up each day. When making up, if the fast day is delayed for second Ramadan, one must pay an additional 50 grams to be paid for that day. You must pay double up again. Right? A person who is forced, his fast will not break because he is not responsible or held responsible for what he is forced to do. Okay, let me just go back here. Right. So that which is neither. So number 3, those for which fidya is compulsory but not qada, like a very old man who cannot fast, finish. He's unable to fast the rest of his life. So somebody who just like they have reached a point in their old age or in their illness whereby there is no hope of them ever fasting ever again. And someone very old cannot take the fasting, he's not going to grow younger, he's going to grow older, right? So it's going to get worse. Or someone who's in an illness whereby there is no hope for cure, right? And this illness prevents fasting. No hope for cure and the illness prevents fasting. So for such a person, for every single day in Ramadan that they missed and they are unable to fast, they can pay a fidya immediately. Right? Once they come into the day, it means they have missed the day already, they can go and pay the fidya. Alright, and there is no qada on them because they can't fast in the first place lah. Right, so even like for example someone who has like a terminal illness and like someone says she has like terrible cancer and fasting is going to make it so much worse and whatsoever lah. Right, so she cannot fast at all, and if she tries to fast she can't take her medicine and she will, it should just get worse and worse and worse. So she does not fast, she pays fidya every single day because cure is not hoped for. She couldn't hope for cure, right? It's like 4th stage, 5th stage cancer kind of thing. Or 4th stage cancer, they kind of thing. She can't actually fast, for example. And then, by Allah's will, after a year, she gets cured. Right, so the entire Ramadan she spent without fasting, told that she's gonna die in 2 weeks, for example, I give this kind of information. And that she's so weak going to chemotherapy and whatsoever, so weak cannot fast, right? So she does not fast and she pays fidya for every single day. Then a miracle happens and Allah makes her cured, and she's completely cured, of her illness, and now she's healthy. Right? Must she make up the days of fast? Answer is no. Right? At the points of her missing the fast, there was no hope of cure. So when she paid fidya every day, there was no hope of her being cured. No hope of her being cured. But if she got cured, then it's a separate situation already. Because that was not what was expected to happen. Okay? Alright, that which is neither wajib nor permissible, like the insane person who said is not caused by transgression. So it's not wajib nor permissible for the person to do a qada. Why? Because he is not mukallaf. He's not mukallaf and he cannot fast anyway because he has lost his sanity. He can't fast. Okay. Someone who is forced to break their fast, I think I missed out this one. Someone who qada is compulsory but not fidya, like the one who is unconscious, or basically qada is compulsory but not fidya, the one who breaks the fast because of illness, the one who breaks the fast because of travel and so on, they must qada. Right? Same thing with the one who breaks the fast because of menses or nifas. They must qada, but there is no fidya. Right? For this individual, there is no fidya. Okay. Alhamdulillah. Okay, let me see the questions first. There's one question here. Okay. The 10 days that you have to do qada, must they be consecutive? Answer is no. And you can spread the 10 days out as long as you want. It's up to you. Right? As long as you get it done before the next Ramadan. Right? But it is best. It's best that you do it consecutive. Why is it best to do it consecutive? So you will feel the fasting. Right? Because in Ramadan you do 30 days consecutive. Right? And you feel it. It's different doing 30 days consecutive, one day after another. It breaks your nerves, right? As compared to doing like 2 days and take a like a week off, then do 2 more days, take another week off, or like 1 week, 1 day a week, and then you stop for a while. That kind of thing lah. This kind of thing all is permissible, but you won't feel the fasting lah. Tak rasa. Like one day, kind of thing. Okay, your question. Mm. Yeah, I can hear you. Mm. Can, you can pay your fee as long as you feel the poor. Can. Yes, of the staple food. Yeah, staple food. And the amount is basically the handful of food that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So by the hands of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay. Mm. To fast is better. There is no, because as you mentioned that to visit people again is not actually a practice of Shawwal. Right? It is a practice of our community, but it's not something that is based in the Sharia lah. But it's our communal um habits, our culture lah, our culture, right? So by right, the best thing to do, right, is to actually get the best scenario, eh. But then again, you can see if you can teach your family or not lah. The best scenario is to fast from second to seventh straight, second Shawwal to seventh of Shawwal straight without any pause. In Tarim, what they will do is that they will have the first day of Shawwal, there will be Eid, then the whole Tarim goes back into fasting. Right? They go fast from second to seventh of Shawwal, then eighth Shawwal, they have another Hari Raya. Eighth. So that everybody's celebrating having done the 6 days of Shawwal. And the whole town does it. So everybody done with the 6 days. So easy. Good kan? And it's good, right? And at least you get it done. You get it done. Dah habis dah. Never think so much. Yeah, yeah, that's why lah. As probably as far as you can. If you're fasting, then go out after maghrib lah, or you go and you book a puasa there. That's what my mom usually does lah. So if she wants to fast, and for me, like personally, sometimes my menses can be quite long. So like the days where I can fast, I want to fast. I don't want to waste those days, like whereby I can actually fast. I'm not having my menses. I can actually fast, and I don't want to waste them. Right. So if I want to go out, or someone's having an open house or that kind of things, I will go like at the end of Asar around 6:30. So I will go like, or 6:45 around there. Right. So I will go, I will see them, then I will book a puasa there. I'll break my fast there. So at least you still honor your host by eating, and then you pray Maghrib there, and okay lah. So and it's actually quite easy because most of us work. Right? Unless you're talking about weekends lah. Kalau weekdays is quite easy actually. Because most of us finish, we get off work around 5:30, 6 o'clock. So might as well fast ah. Kan dalam almost maghrib lah. Right, it's almost maghrib. So might as well fast. Then you go out at in the night. It's not. I think it's definitely doable. It is doable, right, to fast the beginning part of Shawwal, but yeah lah. Of course, Allah did give us. I mean, the sunnah is that it's any part of Shawwal. Right, so if you want to just spread it out lah. Right, if you want to spread it out, right, but if you want to get it over and done with, I know a lot of old people do that because old people they don't go anywhere. Come to their house. So they I know a lot of old people they just get it over and done with. They'll begin from the 2nd of Shawwal and they'll go all the way to the 7th of Shawwal, without any pause line between. Alhamdulillah. Right, mashallah. Mm, mm. Your qada's fasting. Okay, so if you fast the 6 days, you're gonna niyat qada, just niyat qada. Don't niyat any sunnah, you'll get the reward anyway. But you must niyat qada aja. Just niyat qada. Don't niyat anything else. Just niyat qada. There is a khilaf lah. There is a difference of opinion that says that if you combine wajib niyat and sunnah niyat, then it nullifies the niyat. But of course, there are also scholars that says that no, it doesn't nullify the niyat, but it will just take the wajib niyat that you made. So to play safe, just niyat the wajib, the qada, and then because it so happens to be in Shawwal, you get the reward anyway. Mm. Allah is generous lah, you get the reward anyway. Okay. Mm, 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 mm. Can. So when the Imam pays the, yeah, boleh, can, you can do that. So the Imam when he's doing his ninth and 10th rakat, right? You do your 2 rakats witir, can. So you niyat witir. Yes, can. Permissible. And then the 1 rakat later on, you do it yourself, lah. Can. Okay. Okay. Yes. Mm, 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 mm. Betul. Mm. Okay. So you're doing Jama'at with the Imam Tarawih, but you're doing intention your qada subuh, right? For example, lah, because 2 rakats, right? Or if it's 4 rakats, then you just pray two more after the Imam the Salam. Again, you can still do the other salats. Okay, you get the reward of doing your qada. And in fact, the reward of doing your qada is more rewarded than for Tarawih. There's more reward. There's more reward. So it's not you're not doing Tarawih. You're not doing Tarawih. You're doing qada. So the reward is the qada lah. And the qada is way more rewarded than Tarawih. Way more rewarded. Mm, 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 If you want to lah. Yes. 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 Can. You can do that as well. Or you can just pray by yourself the third and fourth. You can yet you can also continue by yourself. By yourself, yeah. Especially if the Imam is doing like some zikir in between, you can quickly do two more. And then by the time the Imam begins the next set, you're done with your four lah. Yeah lah. It will. I mean, you can be thick skin lah about it ah. You can just be. Yeah, it can be. Yeah, then when they ask you, they say, "Oh, I tengah buat qada." Sorry ah. Then tengah buat qada. Sorry. Yeah, can. Permissible. Okay. Okay, the last part of this chapter on fasting, the things which by reaching the stomach do not break the fast are seven. Right. So the first one, right, the first one is that which reaches the body cavity out of forgetfulness, ignorance, or force. They put 1 to 3 because 1 is forgetfulness, 2 is ignorance, 3 is force. So they just draw a shortcut there. Right, so you're wondering why there's a 1 to 3 there. Right, so there is one is mayastilu ilal jawfi binisyan. Is second one au jahl. Third one au ikrah. Right, so basically anything that you consume because you forgot, or because you are ignorant, or because you were forced to do so, all of these three reasons, they don't break the fast. Your fast is still valid. Continue if you're fasting, and you don't have to make it up. You don't have to make it up. All right. Number 4, the mixing of saliva that is between the teeth, and he is unable to discharge it. Therefore, he is excused. Right. So basically, it's saliva that is here in the mouth. Right. As long as the saliva does not go out of your mouth and then come back in. Right. So you can't have the saliva coming out and going back in. But saliva in the mouth, no problem. Right. No problem at all. Is in the teeth. Right. It's between the teeth. No problem at all. Okay. The dust of the road that reaches the body cavity, because dust is still a particle. As mentioned, that smoking nullifies the fast because smoking is a particle. So the particles enter the mouth and the body cavity. However, dust of the road, passive smoking, the kind of thing does not nullify your fast because you're unable to avoid it. Right? So it's difficult to avoid. And then number 4, 6 and 7, dust of sifted flour, right, or flies which reach the body cavity. Right, so you're sifting flour and some flour comes into your mouth, then you try and spit it out, but some went into your nose or whatsoever, or flies that come and fly in, and you try to cough it out. Right, so all of these things, they are not on purpose. Right, the underlying factor is these things are not on purpose. Number 20, true and open passageway. Number 21, to deliberate intake of anything besides air or saliva to the body cavity, to deliberately take in anything besides air or saliva breaks the fast. Food, for example, provided this is after having cleaned between them, after eating by using a toothpick and the like between them. Right, so number 22, right? So the saliva, mixing of saliva that is between the teeth, right? So for example, you ate something very spicy, right? Pedasnya spicy. And you wash your mouth, you clean your mouth, you drink water, everything. The spiciness is still there. Like your tongue still burning. And for some reason, it's still burning. But you've done all you could to remove it. Right? But it's still there. Right? So it's then you can't, and then azan subuh. Right? Come in, eat something spicy in the morning, and then azan subuh. Right? So is your fast valid? Yes, fast is valid. You say, but I can taste the spiciness. Yeah, but you already washed it. If you washed it off as much as you can, it doesn't count. Right? So you are fasting already. As opposed to, like, for example, eating chocolate, and the chocolate is stuck in the teeth. Okay, that one's food. Alright, so before the azan of subuh, you need to brush your teeth, right, and remove all that chocolate that's in between the molars and whatsoever. Must remove, right, because otherwise, like, if you spit, right, you will see your saliva being brown with chocolate, right. You can see that your saliva is brown with chocolate because that means there's food somewhere in your mouth. Right, so you need to remove all that, right, especially for prayer as well. Okay, Alhamdulillah. That one is clear. Let me see if I missed out anything from my book. Any further questions? Also more straightforward again. Mm. Okay, your question. Mm. Mm. Okay, for those who go diving during fasting, so usually if you go underwater, high chances the water will not enter into your body cavities because there's air. There's air in your body cavities, right? Unless like you jump into the pool or something and the water it shoots up your nose. So if the water does enter, then it nullifies the fast. Right? But if the water does not enter your body cavity, no problem. It does not nullify the fast. It doesn't. Okay. There's one question here. Okay, how does a woman on istihada fast? Okay, so good question. A woman on istihada, right? She fasts as usual, right? As how most people fast. But it's just that during her, because she has to maintain, she has to keep her cleanliness. The only difference between a woman on istihada and a woman who is clean, the only difference is basically the istinja and the wudu part. That's the only difference, right? So the one who, everything else is exactly the same. You fast the same, you pray the same, you even with your husband the same, everything the same, except for two things: istinja, right, and wudu. Okay, so for istinja, the one on istihada, right, she needs to just use like a pad, like on her underwear, to hold the istihada that comes out. That's all. Like a pad or a liner, depending on how heavy your flow is. But she's not allowed to put anything into her vagina to stop the flow. As opposed to when she's not fasting, she can put something into her privates to stop the flow. And she needs to actually, in fact, to put something into the privates to stop the flow from falling out. Right. But if she's fasting, then just put a pad on her underwear, that's enough. When she istinja, she cannot put her finger in. Right? As with normal with other women as well. When you istinja, you can't put your finger into your privates to remove the discharge or whatsoever because you're fasting. You can't put anything inside. Okay? That's it. That's about it. Everything else is all like muala, like you have to take your wudu, do your istinja, take your wudu and pray straight away. It's all usual. Alright, so the only difference is that you do not put anything into your privates because you are fasting. Okay. Alright. Any other questions? No other questions. If no other questions, we will stop here for today, inshallah. And then next week we can go on into Hajj and Umrah. Okay. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. الفاتحة.